Concord Ride Sailing Club, 21st March 2015, the Farbugs. Wind south-southeast, course 4, starting at Reynolds. Here are the competitors: Tom Hardman in heats on, John Franklin, Fired Up, Phil Sullivan, Gumleaf, White Dwarf, Ross Venner and Patrick Sullivan in Bluebug. On the water now, on the start boat, with the A-class flag flying. In front of us we've got White Dwarf coming up the line. Further over we've got Phil Sullivan in Gumleaf. Here's Bluebug, that's Patrick Sullivan, fired up, and coming into the picture from the left, heats on, Tom Hardman. White Dwarf had better watch it, he's over the line. Going back. He's over, safe, and they've started. It's a very good start for White Dwarf. But Fired Up and Gumleaf are close behind. Heats On is heading inshore. Probably a losing move. White Dwarf doesn't have good boat speed, but he's pointing high. The two leading pursuing boats are going far faster. Pick the fleet up as they head up the river from Fishers to the Kissing Point Wharf. You can see how close these boats are. The Farbugs are very competitive, but being the smallest boats in the fleet, they will inevitably be passed by the laws of physics by the larger and faster craft. Tide's flowing out, so Gumleaf will be experiencing slightly more tide than White Dwarf at this stage. In the distance, you can see the boats, the following boats, pursuing the two leaders and the Walker Hospital on the southwest bank of the river. This shot shows you the extent of the lead that the first two boats have. Going back up the course now, Phil's got great boat speed, and here's White Dwarf. These boats really do get along despite their small size. Here is Patrick now. He's getting great boat speed, but when he tacks, he is tending to lose that speed, and that is a problem he will be working on. He's got the acceleration up now. He's getting good boat speed, except in those tacks. In the distance, we see Gumleaf, and much closer, White Dwarf, on whom Bluebug is closing fast. And here's Fired Up. Bluebug again, heading down to Kissing Point Wharf. He's tacked. That will put him in a strong tide and in a position to cover Fired Up if she makes a move to close with him. Further back we see Heats On. Major's mark now. Phil Sullivan in the lead, but having to give space to the faster boats that are inside him as they round the mark. Behind him we can see in the distance White Dwarf. Closing up now on the mark. White Dwarf appears to have overstood, allowing Bluebug to close the gap considerably, and the last two boats are not that far behind. White Dwarf's got right to round the mark first, ahead of that larger boat, the Heron, and he's around. Only a few seconds separating the two boats. There goes Patrick now. Reach into fissures. John Franklin's got great boat speed, as we see the second and third boats heading away from the mark. Going to the jibe now. And John's round. No trouble. The wind's got much lighter. This is going to be crowded. The ferry's not stopping. This is going to be concerning. Very good, very wide. He's turning. White Dwarf is holding to the east side of the river. That's going to be a big disadvantage, but he's obliged to give way at the ferry, which he is doing. Throttles on. And there goes the ferry, accelerating to some 20 knots. The final leg. There's Phil Sullivan. You can see the gap. To Bluebug. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 seconds in a race that's been going an hour. There's John Franklin, and fired up. And ahead of him, White Dwarf. Coming into the finish now, Gumleaf has a decisive advantage, but the wind is turning very light. Bluebug's over. He's reaching for the centreboard. She's coming up. The mast's clear of the water. That's good. Up she comes. Firebugs, when they capsize, come out of their vent dry. So he's sacrificed his lead over White Dwarf. But he has a stronger wind. White Dwarf has sailed into a lull. Will he be able to keep his lead? He's hardly moving. Wind's very, very light. There's Bluebug. He sees the lull, tacks in behind White Dwarf. White Dwarf finishes now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 seconds. Fired up, finished, and into the picture comes Heats On. All 5 boats finished